Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Matt Shad, and this is another episode of the Zoot Report Sunroof Edition. Wow, it is a beautiful day. It is Friday, y'all. Finally Friday. Friday Eve has passed, and it is now officially Friday. Congratulations. We've almost made it. Almost made it. Just got to get this one work day in. One day at work. My contractual obligations will be done. I hear rumors that talking about making Friday a national holiday. Every Friday a national holiday. Like we all get a 3-day work week. I don't know how that's gonna work. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful day here. It's going to be a little warm, I think, but I'll take it. Let's go. Let's carpe diem, seize the day, right, and all that shit. You know, really. I got my coffee. I got my snacks. I got a lunch, and so I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I got some gas in the truck. I got some cigarettes. Life is good. You know what I'm saying? Life is good. I don't have to worry about anyone taking my shit. You know, for one, I protect myself. Right? I protect myself and all those around me. Right? And so that's my next topic of discussion. Is an armed society is a polite society. Yes, it is, and there is proof. Yes, there is proof. You know, I don't know, for decades, a couple decades, you know, they were like, oh no, crime is going to go way up, and things are, oh man, I forgot my fucking eyeballs. Nope, got them, okay. Yeah, got my shades. I call my eyeballs. Woo! The sun's right in my face too. Damn, fuck you. An armed society is a polite society. There's proof of it. For decades, experts have been telling us that crime is going to go through the roof, and there's going to be a lot of rape, death, and murder everywhere. Structural, or property theft is going to go sky high, and all these things, and more violent crime is going to be higher. The statistics say this. You know what the statistics say? The statistics actually say that murder is at an all-time low. Yeah, what? Wait, the expert weren't right? What do you mean they got it wrong? How did they get it wrong? They're the experts. They're supposed to know these things. They're supposed to be able to predict the future and shit. Yeah, well, guess what? Gun ownership that we know of, okay? They did a I don't know if you noticed it. I think I remember it. If you go to the polls, there were people always taking these surveys. Hey, excuse me, sir, can I have a moment of your time? Do you carry a firearm? It's none of your fucking business. Okay, next. Right? Chalk that one up as a yes. But, polls and statistics and shit, they feel like they can, predict things. And for the most part, they do. For the people that participate, so you got to look at that. Like, how many people participate, that gives you a percentage of the demographic in that area. Yeah, so, okay. But here's an interesting number that gun ownership in the past decade has went up literally 30%. 30%. Okay? So think about the baseline of how many people actually carry guns. how many people actually carry guns, on a daily basis, or have guns, or sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. That's irrelevant. Carrying a firearm in public, open or concealed, I mean, there's more. That's more fucking numbers than I really don't want to really fucking dive into. But 30% firearm ownership, more than doubled the amount of concealed carry permit holders in the past decade. So 30% more Americans are carrying firearms throughout the course of their lives, their daily lives. Sometimes, like I said, in various degrees, sometimes rarely, sometimes often, sometimes all the time. I'd say I'm 99.9% all the time. So even at work, I carry a gun. So fuck, I do what I want. You know what I'm saying? That is more than a third. Now this is what we know of, right? And so the majority of new gun ownership and new carry, people that are actually carrying it, which is great to hear. I love this. Women, and they also say minorities. Women and minorities. I mean, minorities. What's a minority? Okay, a racial class of people. Still trying to class this. But women and minorities are the ones that are carrying, that have a 30% increase in carrying guns. Welcome to America, right? I mean, and this is great, and it's lowered murder rate. An armed society is a polite society. If you don't know who's packing, and you assume that everybody's packing, you ain't about to do no crimes up in there. All right? You don't have that shock value. You don't have the monopoly on violence. Grandma with her 44 in her handbag has monopoly on violence. All right? Well, that's America. The father with his family, right? With his wife and sons and daughters. Mommy and daddy could be carrying. You don't know. There's two right there. Don't fuck with the family, right? Mama bear with a Glock, fuck you up, send you to the next world, right? When you feel that pressure, that intense heat, you're gonna be rethinking all your life decisions up to that point. Yeah. So, yeah, an armed society is a polite society. And that's another bulwark we have against socialism, communism, things like that. Just regular people carrying out their Second Amendment right, declaring their right, not I'm authorized. Yeah, okay, you're authorized. You're authorized if you're an American. That's pure and simple. Look at the Second Amendment. Yeah, they got some restrictions, and they're actually working on a lot of shit. We've made a lot of leeway, with the Brewer cases, Bruin, Bruin, and Supreme Court, and I mean, there's still some states out there that are being oppressive, trying to be oppressive, but they're more and more they're finding out that wait a minute, what do you mean you're gonna sue us? What do you mean you're gonna sue the whole state? It's our decree, it's our right. No, not when it comes to that. Not when it comes to that. I mean, everyone has the inalienable right to defend themselves. Unless, of course, you're not from this country. Yeah. So there are stipulations. I don't know if naturalized citizens can get... I think they can. I think y'all can get firearms. Yeah, and naturalized citizens. Talk about wow. Talk about dedication. Talk about wanting to be an American. Wow. If a naturalized citizen, they gotta go to school. They got homework. They know more about the Constitution than you do. Me included, probably. Damn, they know more about our history and why why the America is so great. I mean, a naturalized citizen. I mean, I think after that they're ready to. They can join the military. They can own firearms. I don't think there's any much restrictions. And don't quote me on that. I really don't know. I think they're okay though. I think they can, but they have dedication. I remember back in the day, and I'm showing my age, but we had civics, American civics, and it taught us how our system works, and it was very fucking boring. It was extremely boring, but it shows you exactly what makes this America great. Your law, what your rights actually are. And so our rights are there to be practiced, to be shown, we do these things on a daily basis, and we must invoke them when it is at any time possible. So the second is a very important one. It solidifies all the others, all of them. It does. I mean, if you're open carrying and a purse snatcher says, "Oh, I'm gonna give me a purse today," he goes into a public space and he just starts seeing people with fucking guns on their holsters openly. Just regular old folk, right? With guns. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna go to a gun-free zone. Which, I mean, gun-free zones. Really? Our law enforcement, they like to. They would love to have the monopoly on violence, or even just the threat of violence, and that's what the Second Amendment does, especially open carry, whatever. It gives you the threat of violence. It's the FAFO sign. You know what I'm saying? And that's why cops are like they look at them with authority figure. If you see somebody in a uniform, they got a duty belt, they got all this gear, and they ain't got no gun, their authority is kind of dwindled a little bit there. You're gonna be like, whatever, bro. Yeah, you need to keep moving. Nah, fuck you. But if that same guy with a uniform, duty belt, and gun on his side says, "You need to move out," yes, sir. Right away, sir. It's like, it changes the paradigm. And police know that, obviously. That's why they, keep their hand on their gun when they talk to you and all that. They're projecting authority, and authority comes from might. Might makes right. So we, the people, to fight oppression and tyranny, must do the same, and we are more so. Wow, that's amazing. That's great news. That is great fucking news. 30%. 30%. That's a third. What is third of 340 million? I forget. I don't know. A third. That we know of now, by the way. That we know of. Okay? We're talking about polls and statistics here. For the most part, nobody really, they damn it, dude. It's not a precise number, right? That's why they go percentage. But they really don't know. I would venture to guess and hypothesize that the number is actually higher. I mean, think about the baseline. What's the baseline? You know, there are more than 10 to 15 guns per person in America. Even if you don't own guns, even if you don't have guns or never seen a gun, whatever, just know that there are 9 guns out there that somebody can give you. Hey, I've got 9 guns here. You wanna take one? Oh, okay. That's 8. Well, there's more guns than there are people here that they know of, and that's the way it should be. There should be no registries. There should be no, all this crap. Keeping records, and yes, the BATF's been doing that. They're still doing it. Even though there's been a bunch of regulation changes. I'm not going to call them laws, rule changes. They say, yeah, we got to get rid of the records, and yada yada yada. No, they still got them. They still got them. Yeah, that's part of the algorithms. That's part of the AI. I wonder what AI thinks about this. You know, the world domination agent that's trying to take over the world and destroy humanity. What do they think about all these damn weapons? Yeah, get some, hoorah! Go, Brennhilder, go! Yeah, an armed society is a polite society. I remember going to Oklahoma. Lawton? I think it was Lawton. And that was in 98. Yeah, I just got out of the Marine Corps, you know. And hell, Marine Corps, I mean, talk about restriction. You can't carry a gun on base unless you have a special fucking permit. You can't check your issued weapon out anytime you want, go shooting, you know, shit like that. If you live in the barracks and you've got a gun, you just got to go in the armory, and the armory's only open certain times, right? You got to, like, you know, make a special appointment, you know, say on the weekends. But people did, you know, there was hunting and all that, trap shooting, skeet shooting, you know, all kinds of stuff on Camp Lejeune. Still is, I think. But, you know, bringing a gun on base, oh God, you gotta, like, go through the whole thing, you know, get searched and all kinds of shit. They're taking down serial numbers, you know, taking pictures of your shit. You know, you're like, fuck, man, I live and work here, you know, what the fuck? But it's even more restricted. I would love to see more people carrying on base. I mean, you think a base, military base, would be one of the safest places. There's armed guards everywhere. There's, you know, there's guns everywhere. Yet they're super restricted. You know, hey, you don't want to be. I was going to say you don't want to be carrying your gun during PT time, but I have. That is a thing. There's no bullets in it, but yeah, let's run through the mud holes with our fucking AR-15 or our saw, and then, you know, spend the whole fucking day cleaning them, so we can turn them into the armory. Yeah, that happens, but I mean, for the most part, you don't want to be, you know, running 10 miles with your rifle. For one, it's an accountability issue too. They don't want to lose anything. You know, you lose a rifle, it shuts down the whole base. They gotta find it. Yeah. But, you know, training and all that shit aside, you know, I love it. I love the fact that more people are carrying. You know, and that crime, murder is going down. And here's another statistic. Up to 3 million people every year use their gun in self-defense or to stop a crime. Majority of them are never fired. They just present their firearm. And, wow, really? I mean, who would have knew? Hey, give me your money. No. I said, give me your money, I'm going to shoot you. I got a gun too. Okay, bye. Sorry for the inconvenience. You know, a criminal is a predator. And for the most part, they don't want to take undue risk. Unnecessary risk. You know, they want a quick snatch and grab. They want a quick incapacitation of you, you know, and grab the shit and go. Grab the money and run. You know, snatch and grab. Let's go. You know, we're out of here. Because, you know, cops are probably on the way. Some might, you know, information age. There's fucking cameras everywhere. You know, not just cameras on your phone, but cameras all over the fucking street. You know, on the buildings. So, and they're AI monitored and all that shit. So, you know, they see a gun, they're like, "Oh fuck, let's go!" You know, all units respond. you got minutes, man. You got like 5 minutes, 8 minutes. You know, the average, the quickest. Well, I would say the average quickest response time is about 5 minutes, unless they're in the area. I have seen them literally 30 seconds after an incident happens. You know, it's like, we were just down the street. Really? I'm glad. I'm glad y'all are here. You know, let's go. So, still 30 seconds. You know, is still a lifetime when faced with a violent interaction with something or something as well. Like there's animals. There's things like animals that will try to kill you. Okay, that happens. Right? Fishing gun is a thing. You know, having a sidearm while you're hunting is a thing, because there's a lot of animals out there that, you know, it happens. It happens, right? Animal attacks happen. Anyway, you know, whatever. You know, you got human animals. Those are the most deadliest. But you've got literally nanoseconds to do something. There's no talking your way through it. When you're in a knife fight or a gunfight, you're already behind the curve. Right? You're behind the power curve. You're not being proactive, you are being reactive. And that takes nanoseconds. And you know, you have to respond right there and then. And if you've got a weapon, then you can change the tide, you can survive. And alleviate the threat, or even just showing it. Like they know you have a gun. Oh shit, okay, well I don't want to get a shootout with you, but they might run away and pop off a few rounds. Right? That's where training comes in. Just going to the range, you know. I'd like to see more training. I'd like to see, you know, everybody doing outdoor KD courses, running courses and shit. But whatever, go in your backyard and just work on your accuracy, work on your presentation, learn how the gun works, learn how to, you know, load and unload safely, right? Learn the safety rules. I think that should be a standard. But you know what? This is America, so I'm okay with somebody just buying a gun and carrying it and really just, I use it. It's my insurance policy, and I rarely shoot it. I rarely play with it. I rarely clean it. I've seen a lot of dirty guns out there. God, I've seen a lot of dirty guns. But you know, hey, everybody can't be me, and that's okay. That's okay. Not everybody is SEAL Team 6. Okay, some people are MEAL Team 6. Love that game. Some people have different philosophies about carrying guns and protecting themselves. They have different modus operandi. And so, and who am I to say? Who am I to judge? I got a gun. Hey, right on. You are practicing your exercising your Second Amendment. That's great to see, and that promotes more people to do it. It really does. I don't care. You get some kind of weirdo that's butthurt that sees you out there. Oh my God, he's got a gun! Ah! They get all fucking emotional and fucking carrying on you. Like whatever. I mean, that's fine. Let them, because everybody's gonna look at them like they're the fucking idiot. Because you're just sitting there. You're just standing there. You're going about your day. You got a coffee in your hand. I mean, whatever. I just stopped here to get lunch, breakfast. Leave me alone. Have a good day. I said good day, sir. Good day. Alright, I'll get over it. Yep, an armed society is a polite society. Yeah, when I went to Lawton, Oklahoma, and I just seen everybody carrying. Went to a diner, and everybody, old men, grandmas, young people, everybody had a gun, and it was all different. It was all, whatever. You had 6-shooters out there. It is the West, right? You had, a nice leather sheath. I love a nice leather sheath. Nice leather holsters. I've seen some dirty ones. I seen some that I question their are they operational? But everybody had one. And they also had cowboy hats too. So they like their cowboy hats. I guess that's a Midwest thing and a Eastern country thing. So yeah, I mean, and I remember I just kind of struck up a conversation with some old cadre in a hat, flannel shirt tucked in, long sleeve. He had a nice fucking sidearm on his belt. I was like, wow, everybody carries? He's like, yes, sir. Everybody does. It's open carry and it's concealed, right? Concealed carry. Okay, yeah. Wow. I was like, do you feel safe? I was like, yeah, I kind of do. There's nobody shooting anybody. There's no arguments, right? You kind of have a tendency not to argue with somebody who has a gun on their side. There's always that threat. Just the threat of violence is just enough to make everybody polite. And people they were opening doors for old ladies, they were helping them across the street. Lots of please and thank yous, and whatever. The social contract, if you will, had changed. Whereas you go to somewhere like New York and everybody's arguing, everybody's cussing each other out, everybody's threatening everybody. That would probably happen anyway if everybody had guns, because it's New York. I kind of like that. I kind of enjoy that. Hey, fuck you, fuckface. Yeah, fuck you in your ass. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, good day. This is how they talk to each other. They just cut deep. But that's amazing statistics, man. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, really, to tell you the truth, but it is. Wow, it is. I mean, and what's the baseline? That's my question. But they don't really know themselves. all they know that there's been a 30% uptick in carrying concealed permits. You know, a majority of them are women and minorities. That's amazing. That's great. I mean, I think all women should carry a gun. All women. I mean, seriously. I don't, because I've experienced it, and you know, I've seen it and experienced it where your most badass fucking woman. I mean, she's ripped. She's a badass. She's a Muay Thai fucking master, right? She's a boxer. She's, you know, freaking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, a grown-ass man, or not even a grown-ass man, a teenager can manhandle them. You know, create injuries, knock them out, fucking kill them. You know, just with like one punch, like, oh fuck, sorry. You know, women are different. They're just physically, they're different, and so they gotta have that. And a lot of crime towards women is that, right? They criminals, like I said, they don't want any undue threats. They don't want to you know, project any have a bad robbery or a bad rape or something with a woman, with someone that's going to, you know, hurt them. They want an easy target, an easy mark, and women are easy marks, regardless of their age. But that gun on their side or concealed, that makes them a force to be reckoned with. That it levels the playing field, because I mean, there are people that have been shot and survived, right? Criminals included. But those guns have saved lives. They have saved women's lives. Women's, minorities. I mean, I don't know what minorities they're talking about, but hey, that's cool. Whatever. I want to see men and women. I don't care what your race is. You know, give two shits. You know, but why that's important, I don't know. You know, but hearing that more women are carrying guns and protecting themselves, and 3 million, up to 3 million cases of self-defense a year. Crime and self-defense are thwarted. Use of a gun, the majority of which don't even get fired. It's just, you know, whatever the case may be, whatever the scenario is, the crime is happening, and the victim pulls out a gun, and the crime stops, regardless if they shot it or not. It's like, uh-oh, okay, we're out, bye. You know, yeah. Like I said, it stops that socialist bullshit. It negates the woke agendas, you know, because they can scream whatever they want. You know, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, you have a gun. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Welcome to America, and that stops you from goose stepping on me, right? You know. Even our government and military or law enforcement has a healthy respect for, you know, people with guns. Just we the people with guns. It's just the way it is. You know, they deal with us differently. You know, and they have to assume. And yeah, there are crimes being committed. Right, there is a, you know, Leos are being targeted and shit like that, but yeah, they got guns too. So protecting oneself is a inalienable right. It just is. It just is. And so you got to respect it. You got to respect it. And seeing more people carrying is great. It's absolutely great. And women, man, that's awesome. More women carrying. That's what's up. That's great news. So yeah, I just wanted to. I heard about this week. This morning. Came up on my little news feed, whatever. I was like, oh shit, hell yeah. So thank you very much for this hanging out with me on the Zoot Report. And it's Friday, y'all. Haha, it's Friday. Yes, stand by for Lackluster Fridays tonight. Skull.